Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to weigh in on things that have been going on lately in the United States and get some things off my chest that have been on my mind for years now. There's just two different ideas going around. There's the left and the right divide in the United States, which I think that's all just a big scam, which I can get into at some point. But the left has this idea that, or they're trying to push this idea that racism is running rampant in America, and that cops just go around killing black people all the time, and black people don't have a fair shot and everything, and they can't get hired, and all these different things, creating this massive victim mentality, just constantly telling black people, hey, it's not fair, you're being put upon, the system is against you, and you should feel sorry for yourself, and if you can't get a job, if you can't do these things, it's because the system is racist. Is there not police that profile people? Of course there is. I've for sure have been profiled. Is there ever going to be a time when you're not walking down the street and some lady clutches her purse and walks across the street? Yeah, that happens. I've had security guards follow me around stores and things like that. I fit the description at different times. I'm not saying that stuff doesn't happen, but I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but is it beneficial for CNN and The Daily Show and Trevor Noah to be talking about it every 20 minutes, constantly reminding you of how bad things are and how racist everybody is? And no, it's not beneficial. And also they completely exaggerate it, because I've been around the whole country. I traveled around in a school bus for 3 years off and on. And I can tell you that 99% of the time, that's not the case. All right. 99% of the time, people are kind and open-minded and open-hearted. And even people that maybe do have some kind of racist views deep down, 99.9% of the time, once they see that you're smiling and that you're kind, it just doesn't apply. That's what everyday citizens, though. As far as the police go, that's a bit of a tougher situation. But the racial aspect is definitely overplayed by the media with the police. There's one thing I realized traveling around the country, especially hanging out with other van and bus life people, is that the police, there's bad cops out there, and they are not just targeting black people. They're fucking up a bunch of people. All right. I started sharing some of my experiences kind of under the guise like, oh, guys, it's hard being black. These are some things we deal with. And then all of a sudden I started having white guys telling me, oh, hey, well, let me tell you what happened to me. And I'm like, wow, some of the situations were worse than my situations. And in fact, in a lot of scenarios nowadays, white guys are getting treated sometimes worse by the police, because they're like, oh, we know we can get away with it. It's a white guy. Like, this isn't going to create any media attention, which it never does. There's videos of the police killing white people and that are unarmed. I've been with friends that have been aggressively detained for no reason because they fit the description or things like that, and they were white. Like the police come up, guns drawn, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. And then they go after my white friend. I'm like, okay, the media, CNN is never going to cover this because they're pushing this agenda that racism is running rampant in America. The mainstream media is so incredibly garbage. If you're a black person in America, do not buy into this idea that you are a victim, that your life is so hard that you can't make it. There is black millionaires and all kinds of, at every level. We had a black president, black business owners. Okay, if you decide that you're going to be a victim and that your life is so hard and that the cops are always out to get you, and then that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you could, the small percentage of time that those things do happen, you can either shrug it off and keep moving and keep chugging along and get your shit together and get a good job, move up, educate yourself, make some money, build, get a house, whatever. That's on you. If you want to sit there and say, oh, everything's tough, I can't do it, it's not fair, that's on you too. That's bullshit though, that they tell you that you can't, because you obviously can. Look around. Look how many black business owners and all these successful people there are that are black. Don't buy into that bullshit. It's a game. It's just a massive game of control. All right, you're letting people control you. You're letting people make you a victim. They want you dependent on the system. Asking for handouts because it's like, oh, well, I can't do anything. I'm just going to collect welfare. It's disgusting. All right, don't buy into that nonsense. But when you move across the aisle, you have another issue. Okay, so you have one side that's completely pushing racism and saying racism's everywhere and it's under every corner and stone, and they're only showing bad interactions with white officers and black cops. They're ignoring all the other ones. And then you have the other side that says, oh, this is all nonsense. This isn't happening. Everything's completely fair. This is just an agenda. These black people are complaining for no reason. That's garbage too, guys. That's garbage too. I mean, there's in every situation with the left and the right in the United States, everything is in the middle. Okay, 90% of the time, both sides are wrong. Okay, like the things that happen with the right wing during times like Colin Kaepernick, for example. I personally, first of all, I should let you know, I think I'm completely free of American political opinions. I mean, I relate to the right on a lot of things. I relate to the left on a lot of things. I try to look at everything objectively. I don't even live in the United States now. I've been outside of the United States in total, accumulatively, for about 5 years, and I really feel indifferent to a lot of the things that everybody gets hyped up about. But what happened with the Colin Kaepernick situation was so terrible for the right wing, guys. It was absolutely ridiculous, because whenever black people are protesting violently and there's the LA riots and stuff, the first thing all the right wingers say is, why can't they protest peacefully? This isn't fair. I get it. That's true. There shouldn't be rioting. There shouldn't be looting. That's disgusting. But this man does protest peacefully. He takes a knee. He articulates his point very well. And he's talking about, it's not as if he's protesting to get a bigger salary. He's talking about people that have been murdered by the police. Okay? And you're like, oh, you're a millionaire. Why are you whining? You absolutely missed a perfect opportunity to come together on this issue. There's a man who's a celebrity who's decided, hey, I'm going to just do this silent little thing. It's not hurting anybody. But what did you start? You ignored the point that he was talking about. And you start going on about the troops and the flag and the national anthem and all kinds of bullshit that whatever. My cousin's in the military. Okay, great. Does the fact that your cousin's in the military, does that have anything to do with the fact that black people have been shot by the police? Then why are you bringing it up right now? Okay, don't let Tommy Loren and whatever your media sources are make you think a certain way. You had a perfect opportunity. Nobody's getting hurt. I mean, other than the people that have been shot by the police. But this guy's on a knee, and you guys had the perfect opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I feel like this is unpatriotic, and it's kind of making me uncomfortable, but let's look at what he's talking about. If I'm getting this upset, because of the flag and this and that, that's the idea of a protest, is to make you upset, to make you think about things. Nonviolent protest. Nobody's getting hurt, but it's supposed to be upsetting because he's upset. We're upset. They're showing you, hey, we're upset. We want you to be upset too, so you can come understand this pain. I mean, you guys shit all over him. It was despicable. Okay, and now there's crazy. Now look at them. They're right. This is disgusting. Okay, well, cool. Yeah, you're right. It is disgusting. But why you missed the opportunity to do something about it? All right. So both sides, guys. Both sides have an issue. And as far as police shootings go, when there's an egregious act by a police officer who gets caught on camera, they get shoot an unarmed person, people start kind of trying to come together, Black Lives Matter. You people that decide right then is the time that you're going to start saying the thin blue line and Blue Lives Matter. I understand that you guys want to support the police guys, but that is a massive slap in the face to any. So, you know, as me as a black person who considers myself to not be racist, based off all the things I said earlier, when I start to see solidarity online and people come together, you know, I'm touched by that. I'm like, oh wow, this is beautiful. You know, my white friends, Republican friends, Democrat friends, friends from around the world coming together. I'm touched by that, especially after sometimes watching these videos. You know, I've shed tears over some of these videos, guys. I've been in situations that were close to that, where I'm like, that could have been me. That could have been me that shot right there for no reason or a bullshit reason. Maybe it is a reason, but when all this solidarity is going on, people saying Black Lives Matter and showing support, and then you decide to take that opportunity right then to say, you know what, I'm going to defend the police right now. I'm going to put up a Blue Lives Matter hashtag. I'm going to talk about how tough police officers' jobs are, and I'm going to talk about statistics, and I'm going to talk about how more cops get killed by black people than vice versa. And I'm going to do that the day after a black person was killed by the police. Cool, guys. That is a massive fuck you to black people. It's completely fine to support the police. You know, I support good police officers because I know how important. You know, when I'm shown kindness by a police officer, especially when I can tell they're going out of their way to show me kindness, just to try to mitigate some of these issues that are going on. You know, police officers open the door for me sometimes, but when it's fine to show support for police officers, but when you decide that you're going to blatantly do it right then, it's an absolute fuck you to black people. Just so you know, I mean, if you don't care, that's fine, that's on you. But I'm just letting you know the perspective of a black person in America when we're sad, we're hurting, we're thinking this could have been us, and we're starting to feel a little bit of encouragement because people are coming together. But because you're basically like, you know what, maybe you're either denying that there's a problem, you're either saying, oh, there's no problem, these people are full of shit, or you're saying, oh, we just think cops' lives are more important than black lives. So that would be the equivalent of if your sister or your daughter or your mother was viciously raped and it was made national news, and then you started seeing people the next day with the hashtag, oh, men aren't bad, and stand with men, we have to defend men, you know, men are getting a bad rap. Can you imagine if one of your family members was raped and everybody knew about it and it was on national news, and then you scrolled through Facebook and started seeing the hashtag men aren't bad, let's defend men, right after your family member was raped? Think about that the next time you want to post Blue Lives Matter the day after a black guy gets killed. All right, because that's what you sound like. If show support for the police any other time than right then. And I'm just letting you know that's up to you. You know, free speech, but I'm just letting you know where I'm coming from. And if you've ever used any version of the sentence or statement, well, if you weren't doing anything wrong, you wouldn't have any issues with the police. Just do me a favor and pause this video and go pull your head out of your ass. Because that is one of the most ignorant statements that a person can make. Okay? There's 4 little words that you might not understand, but you fit the description. Okay? You do not have to be doing anything wrong. Okay? When we talk about police profiling people, I believe this is a fact. I mean, I think there's been studies on it, and this isn't. And guys, I'm not going to go into like a CNN type narrative here. The police profile people for a bunch of different reasons. And first of all, obviously, I'm not talking about all police. I don't think we have to reiterate that enough. One of my best friends are police officers. Some of my good friends are police officers. This is not police, obviously, but in general, police profile people, and it's not just black people. Like people with tattoos, people with piercings, people that look scruffy, Hispanics, Native Americans. But you know, white people get profiled by police too. If they look, they're driving a beater car or whatever else. If you're out too late at night, they just, they just get bored and they're like, we have a very corrupt system with privatized prisons. And these police, like, even if a good person becomes a police officer, sometimes they join such a damaged, corrupt system that they become corrupt without even knowing it. Guys, there's so much pressure on them to give tickets and fine warrants and all these different things that they start looking for problems, right? So, these cops are like, end up being wolves in sheep's clothing. Actually, they're wolves in wolves' clothing. Okay, so instead of always just jumping to defend the police, maybe let's not be so arrogant. Oh, the cops are great. Oh, there's no problem. This arrogance, and this is something that comes from the right wing, guys, mostly. I mean, you have, everything has to be the opposite. So left wing saying everything's terrible, all cops are bad, the country's terrible. Right wing's the opposite. Everything's great, America's awesome, we're the greatest country that's ever lived, and blah, blah, blah. We're the greatest country that's ever happened. All the police are great. These people need to stop complaining. You don't know how good you have it. Guys, both of these opinions are shitty, okay? The mainstream media is keeping us divided on purpose. Okay, right wing, left wing, black, white. They're firing up these issues because if we were just to come together, most of us are reasonable people. We could sit down and have a conversation. I know when you post that Blue Lives Matter thing right after that, you're not trying to be racist, but you just don't. That's what the right wing's telling you to do. The right wing's hyping it up, and you're like, yeah. You're watching your Fox News, and they're hyping it up, and you're like, yeah, this is great. You don't even realize how it's affecting people. The left wing, CNN is making everybody feel like a victim. Always, So they're both huge problems. They're both complete shit, and it's systematic programming to keep America divided intentionally. Because if 330 million people, let's say 310 million, obviously there's some shitty people that just aren't, they are either racist or ignorant or lazy or whatever, all these different things depending on, we're not going to win everybody, but the majority of us are pretty reasonable. We're not completely far left, we're not completely far right, we're just in the middle. Our media sources make us think that we are so divided that we can't sit down and have a conversation, and that is the problem. And guys on the left wing, I mean, this idea that everybody that doesn't agree with you is alt-right or racist is super silly. I mean, I go through some very intelligent authors and philosophers, like Jordan Peterson, just to name one. And then you go to his Wikipedia and it's like alt-right leader Jordan Peterson. It's like, guys, that's stupid. That's a trick. Okay, don't be a tool. They don't want you to have a conversation with those people. They're trying to block information out of your head. So they're just labeling everybody a Nazi and a racist and an alt-right person. It's an absolutely despicable, disgusting trick. Okay, I honestly encourage you, if you come across something, if you're left wing, if you're super left wing, and you see something that says, this person's alt-right, this person's racist, I encourage you to look into that person, because that means they don't want you to see what that person's talking about. You guys, I mean, you're falling into this trap. It's like literally like they're just putting up a wall in front of your face because they're trying to hide information from you. I've seen some great interviews with people. I'm like, wow, this person's really intelligent. This person's really objective. They're really making some good points. And then I go to look them up and it says alt-right activist or, Nazi affiliate. That's a bunch of bullshit. Just because a person makes a joke that you don't like. I mean, I got good friends that make super racist jokes to me because we're friends. It doesn't make them a racist. One of my buddies, he sends me the most racist shit I've ever seen in my life, and I laugh. And then he also just sent me a picture of his son. He messaged me in the middle of the night when his child was being born. Okay, so is that person a racist to you? I mean, I've had white liberals try to convince me that things are racist. I'm like, hey guys, I've been around the country, it's not that bad. And they're like, oh, you know what? Maybe you just don't understand how racism works. I'm like, oh, okay, you're just like some young white guy in your 20s, and you're going to explain to me, a black American who's traveled around the country, who's traveled around the world, you're going to explain to me how racism works. Please, go ahead. And sure, you sound stupid, okay? Stop calling everything racist. Okay, you're being manipulated. This is a trick to make sure that you don't communicate with people that disagree with you. If you're tricked into thinking everybody that disagrees with you is a Nazi, and then I see you guys at Ben Shapiro rallies, and you're just screaming and all disrupting it. And I see people at the Ben Shapiro rallies, or I'm sorry, the Ben Shapiro meetings. I guess they're not really rallies. And I see videos. They meet you guys aside. Hey guys, you want to have a conversation? No, you're a Nazi. Fuck you. Great. You're acting like children. You're being completely manipulated. Okay, all this Antifa, all this stuff is garbage, is nonsense. Sit down and have a conversation. Show some maturity. Be an adult. Tying a bandana around your face and running around, acting like a kid or whatever. Disrupting people that are just trying to sit down and have a conversation with each other. That people go to see a person talk, and you're just coming into the meeting. You get tickets to the meeting, get there early just so you can sit up front and just yell things out. You're an idiot. That is so incredibly stupid. How about you go and find something positive to do? Why don't you go find a speaker that you like? You don't have to. You don't have to like Ben Shapiro. You can hate Ben Shapiro's guts, but you're going to take time out of your day to go sit at to go get there early and get a seat at to see him speak, just so you can yell out and disrupt it to make sure nobody else hears it. You're being a tool used by a corporate agenda. Okay, you're a tool is the best. I can't really describe it to you any better. You are being a tool. Instead of focusing on how much you hate Trump and hate Ben Shapiro and hate all of his supporters and right wing, why don't you go find some positive people that you do like and go support them instead of focusing on everybody you hate, instead of staying on Trump's Twitter page all day? You guys, turn off the Daily Show. I used to love the Daily Show. I used to with Jon Stewart, even at the beginning with Trevor Noah. I think Trevor Noah was an articulate, intelligent guy. But it's trash now. I'm sorry. All they do is just talk about Trump and just talk about how racist America is all the time. It's really not beneficial to anybody. Instead of focusing on all the things you hate so much, focusing on how much you hate Trump, trying to go disrupt people's group get-together things, why don't you go find some people that you like? Why don't you find some authors, some people that you find inspiring, and go hear them speak? Go do something positive. Go get a part of a project or charity. If you really, if you think that, black people are so oppressed, why don't you go into the inner cities and go to communities that are torn apart, whatever, and why don't you volunteer? Volunteer with some young people. Volunteer with some young black kids. Show them a white face in the black community that, hey, I'm here, I care about you, instead of just always going on bitching on Facebook all the time. Why don't you actually go do something? Okay, like, you're posting 1,000 things on Facebook a day, but that doesn't do anything. You're wearing a t-shirt? Cool. Your t-shirt has a little message on it? Great. That's fine if you want to do those things, but before you go and just disrupt other people trying to have a conversation, why don't you ask yourself, what are you doing to benefit anybody? Okay, like, are you giving to charity? Are you volunteering your time? Are you going into inner cities and trying to talk to people and volunteering to spend time with kids that don't have both their parents at home or anything like that? Or are you just talking shit? Because if you're just talking shit, it's your right, but you look like an idiot. Just my opinion. But, again, take it or leave it. We sit down, and if we come together and have a conversation peacefully, civilly, and lay our ideas out on the table, not you're right wing, you're left wing, we would figure out that the elites are running us ragged. They're running us into the ground. They give us shitty food, shitty entertainment. All the movies have some kind of agenda. There's a massive, massive plot going on, and they're just taking control. While they are taking control of the country. Right now, we're about to go into martial law. We are fighting over nonsense. This is a scam. Okay, like it's just all a big scam to keep us divided. They do not want us to just have a conversation. Okay, the majority of us, if the whole right and the whole left, the Republican Democrat system is a scam, right? Like just what Dr. King said about judging people on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Apply the same thing to politics, guys. Judge people by the content of their character, not their political affiliation. How many times have you been talking to a person and you've been having a great time. You're like, this person's really cool. And then you find out they're a Republican or they're a Democrat, and your mind's automatically, oh, well, fuck this guy. Guys, that's a scam. Okay, that's nonsense. Political parties shouldn't even be a thing. Every person that runs for president should just run on, hey, I'm this guy. These are my ideas, vote for me. It shouldn't be like, well, I'm on this side, I'm on this side. Okay, so let's put that aside for a second. Let's try to look at people as individuals and not Republicans or Democrats or black or white. Be like, who are you? What are you? What person are you? I don't care about any of that else, but let me get to know you. And let's talk and let's figure out who you are. Let's figure out who I am. And that's all that matters. Individuals. Okay, so this is just, I see America deteriorating. In you know, this idea that America is the greatest country ever. That arrogance is a big problem, guys. It's fine to be proud of your country, but first of all, it's a massive slap in the face to everybody else. I've been to a lot of countries, and they're all, not all, but there's a lot of really good countries out there. So it's literally like if you got up at a sports bar and started screaming how your wife is the best wife in the whole bar. My wife is the hottest wife. She's smarter than everybody. That's what you sound like when you say America is the greatest country, because that's completely subjective. You could make an argument for it, but there's no reason to be screaming it from the rooftops all the time. It's not a good look. All right, and it's not only is it not a good look, but when you're so arrogant and so patriotic, like we're so great, we're so amazing, everything's fine, you're missing all the problems. Okay, like just saying that everything's great all the time does not help anything. Okay, and for the left wing, saying everything's terrible and everything's the worst ever and capitalism is terrible, that's not helping anything either. Guys, the truth is in the middle. America is a great country. It has been up until very, very recently. But it's not beyond saving. If we can sit down and have a conversation, it's not beyond saving. But we can't just say America's great and everything's fine. We have to acknowledge that there are problems. We do have a problem with the police, guys. It's not just race. There's not just racism. The police are... There's no accountability, guys. They can do whatever they want. They walk around like thugs. Some of them, a percentage of them, they walk around like thugs. They're glaring at people. They're antagonizing people. Would you say to me? Would you say? I've been brought to the point of almost tears, almost shaking, because a police officer is so disrespectful to me, and he's looking at me, and I know that he's saying, "I dare you to do something." They're getting off on it. That's one of the main reasons I can't live in the United States, because I can't deal with that. It's only a matter of time before I finally snap and I just get shot because I can't deal with it, you know. But this is a problem, guys. This is a problem for all of us, all races. This needs to be addressed. There's no politician that's brought this up. America is not perfect. You can say it's a great country, but before you start going on about how there's no problems and how it's so great and capitalism is so amazing, there are problems, and that arrogance is not going to do anybody any good. Okay, so just think about it. America's, and to the left wing, America's not the worst country of all time, and it's not so terrible, and racism is running rampant. It's pretty good, guys. Honestly, the United States is pretty good. I've been to a lot of places. It's deteriorating rapidly at the moment, but it's not beyond saving. So just keep that in mind. Just turn off the mainstream media, guys. Turn off the news. If that's the one thing you take from this video, if you could go 1 week without watching CNN, without watching Fox, without watching MSNBC, all of it is trash. There's a couple of anchors that are good, and I'm not going to name them because it's going to make me look biased, whatever. But for the most part, guys, they're just trying to divide us. Find some independent. There's a guy that I really like named Anomaly. His political take is great. Anomaly. Look him up on Facebook and Instagram. He puts out some great videos, guys, completely objective. There's some great independent news sources out there, guys. If everybody in the whole country turned off the mainstream news for a week, we might fix everything. That might be it. So if there's one thing you take from this video, get off the mainstream media, go find somebody that disagrees with you and sit down and have a conversation with them. for God's sake, for the sake of the country, just sit down and have a conversation. And one more thing, guys, I mean, be conscious, be consciously aware of what you're posting on social media, all right? Especially when you're emotional, especially when the whole country's emotional and everybody's been locked down and police are killing people. Now we have rioting. Don't just look at a video, an article, let your emotions just dictate and then just start posting away on social media. Because, I mean, I know I sound like a hypocrite because I post on social media all the time, but I do my best to look at the situation objectively. I've been wrong. I've definitely been wrong before. We all have. But again, like I said about posting the thin blue line and Blue Lives Matter right after black people get shot by the police, there's just times when you can't just cater to, oh, this is the right wing way of thinking. This is the left wing way of thinking. Just stop and think. Okay, how does the other side? Will this be perceived? Instead of just letting your emotions dictate your actions so quickly, maybe take that into account before you start just posting these rants or certain things. Obviously, you can't make everybody happy. You can't, and I'm not saying you should try to do that, but you don't have to make everybody happy, but think of, are you hurting anyone? Are you hurting the people close to you? Are you disrespecting anyone while, with your social media posts? Are you making a joke at a time when everybody are about something that's, I don't know. I don't want to tell people how to live, but just be conscious. If you're super emotional and then you see something, you see a video and it makes you really emotional, and then you just immediately start posting, that might not be the good time to start posting, guys. You might want to let that marinate a little bit. Think of all the different other possible options. Because one of the biggest divides right now is all this whole, this hashtag movement and all these different, I stand with the rioters. We don't care if they burn it down. I stand with the police. We need to shut down the rioters. Rioters are idiots. None of this is worth it. I mean, all kinds of opinions just flying around. It's like a massive dumpster fire. Okay, and then people are just sharing repeats of the same opinion. It's just a constant, it's just so repetitive, guys. All these memes going around and whatever, you see the same photo get shared 50,000 times. It's not really beneficial. Okay, some of you are posting completely all right-wing stuff. Some of you, the Trump haters, God, that's a whole other issue, guys. The people that are just nonstop posting how much you hate Trump, we get it. We get it. I'm not going to sit here and defend Trump and say he's a great guy, but you're not helping, trust me. All the right-wing people that used to be your friends on Facebook have unsubscribed from you, or they hate your guts. And and even some of the middle ground people and moderate left people find you very annoying. I've unsubscribed from plenty of people just because I'm like, I don't need to see 15, 20 articles and posts a day about how much you think Trump's a dick. His Twitter feed, it's his Twitter feed. I'm like, I don't even know what Trump's Twitter feed says. I mean, if you hate him so much, why are you on his Twitter feed all day? Come on, you're better than that. You go out for a walk, get some fresh air, stop searching around social media trying to find Trump supporters so you can fight with them and get off on it. I mean, that's kind of pathetic. All right, I completely respect if you don't like Trump, that's great, but we don't need to hear about it all day. You're not helping anything. You're not doing anybody any favors, okay? So go join some kind of Facebook group about we hate Trump, and you guys share memes and back and forth, and you guys can laugh and jerk each other off, whatever you want to do. That's fine. And, it gets a little bit corny on the other side as well. All the, we stand with our president and God bless Trump, he's the greatest. They're both a little bit silly, guys. I mean, if you're going to keep doing it all the time, that's posting your political opinion on Facebook isn't really doing that much, in my opinion. I mean, if you can post something objective and post things that are current events or things that are going on as opposed to just your opinion and your feelings, I mean, everybody has the right to do what they want, but as a person that tries to be as objective as possible, I'm just letting you know my thoughts. So take it or leave it.